Hello BookTube, welcome to Lizzie Faye Loves Books. I'm Elizabeth, and it's barely still Friday here in Central Florida, and so I'm going to do my Friday reads. Now I'm a little bit late getting this video filmed, and it'll probably be a little after midnight by the time it's actually uploaded, but I still wanted to do a Friday reads video to tell you about the books that I finished, and then the books that I am currently reading, and the books that I'm planning to read this weekend and on into next week, because this is a big weekend for BookTube. We've got the Deweys 24-hour readathon, and it's also the Spookathon that will be finishing up at the end of this weekend. And I'm not sure, there's another readathon, some kind of an autumn readathon that's going on right now as well. So I am going to be participating though in the Spookathon and the Deweys 24-hour readathon. Now, the Spookathon's been going on since earlier in the week, and I have not yet picked up the two books that I plan to read that fulfill the challenges, but those are on my agenda for tomorrow, which is Deweys. And I probably will go ahead and vlog a little bit for the Deweys readathon. I'll have to pull out my old camera and do the different segments from that, because that's the only way that I have of putting pieces and parts together. So hopefully you won't mind that too much if you want to watch my my vlog. So let me first tell you about the books that I finished since the last Friday Reads video. Now, I had a root canal this week, and I had a few days of really horrible tooth pain, and so my Monday video for Vito was simply an AM reading. I had just done Friday Reads, but I had finished everything that I had been reading for that Friday Reads, and then I was in the middle of 3 other books. So I have finished all of those and then finished 2 more tonight. So what I was reading for the Monday video is The Second Sister by Marie Bostwick. Now, I had been working on this one a little bit along throughout the month. I was listening to this on Hoopla on my phone, and the, let me see if I can tell you who the narrator was. The narrator was Angela Brazil, and she did a great job on this book. I have, this was the first standalone that I've read from Marie Bostwick. I've read some of her Cobbled Court series, which I love. This was really good. I enjoyed it a lot. It is a sister story. It's kind of a story about coming home. It's a story about forgiveness, forgiving yourself, forgiving others, reconciling and dealing with tragedy. So there's a lot wrapped up into this one book, and I thought it was really good. It is about our main character is the campaign manager for someone who's running for president, and when she is done with that job, then she has something she has to deal with in her hometown, and she doesn't really want to go back to her hometown, but she does, and it's that story. So I would definitely recommend picking it up if you think it sounds interesting, and it's The Second Sister by Marie Bostwick. Then a YA book that I finished is The Crown by Kiera Cass. This is the last book in the Selection series. Now, I hear a lot of people saying that they don't care for The Heir and the Crown as much as the first 3 books in the Selection series. Now, The Heir and the Crown are about the daughter of the main character in the first 3 books, which is America, and Eadlyn is the daughter, and so it's the story of her selection, and I thought it was really good. There's maybe not quite as much action in The Heir and the Crown as there was in the first trio, but I still thought it was very good. It wrapped up very nicely. I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed continuing on with the family and the land of Ilia and just seeing what happened. So I thought it was great. Then the Shadows of Sherwood is book 1 in the Robin Hoodlum series. It's one of our Sunshine State books, and I've already done a little video review of this one on my channel just a couple of days ago. And then just tonight, I finished what I think will be the last series that I finished for this year. And I forgot to go back and count how many series now that I finished. Oh no, I take that back. There is one other one that I'm planning to finish. So I've probably finished at least 18 or 19 series for this year. And this was a duology, The Rose and the Dagger by Renee Ahdieh. It's the Wrath and the Dawn sequel. I've also read the novellas that go with it, and this was the conclusion, and I thought it was great. I really enjoyed it. I would say they're neck and neck. There wasn't, I didn't really enjoy one over the other. I didn't have a favorite. It's just, you know, kind of all one story divided into 2 books, and so I thought it was great. Then the last one I just finished, which is why I'm so late getting this video done. I was listening to this on audio. This is The Truth About Forever by Sarah Dessen, and this was narrated by Stina Nielsen, and I enjoyed it. This is a YA contemporary romance. Sarah Dessen is one of my collected authors that I had never read, so now I have read one. I had one little problem with it, and that was that the story featured some teenage drinking, and while I know that it happens, I don't agree with it. You know, there's not much way to prevent it, but the way it was presented in this story, it was just so matter-of-factly told that it made it seem like that there was nothing wrong with it, and there was no, there might have been a little bit of, you know, lesson learned kind of a thing, but not really much. It was just kind of woven into the story several times where our main character talked about sipping her beer, and I thought it just bothered me. So that was really the only issue. There was a tiny bit of swearing, which of course, you know, it's teenagers, so that's going to be a reality as well. So it's not a clean book as like Melanie from Christian YA Books and More would call it, but there's no sex or anything like that in it, and it is a really cute little love story, and it's the story of a girl. She's been dating her boyfriend for about 1.5 years, and he's going off to brain camp because he's super smart, and he writes her back from camp and says that he thinks that they should kind of cool it for the summer and take a break. And so meanwhile, she meets someone else during the summer, and story goes from there. So that's your basic story, and I thought it was very enjoyable, and that the teenage drinking was really the only problem that I had with it. Okay, so I have one other book on my currently reading list, and I've only read or listened to less than 10% of it, and that is Before Green Gables by Budge Wilson. And I found out that this is sanctioned by the Lucy Maud Montgomery estate. They commissioned her to write this, and so this would be considered part of the Anne of Green Gables series. It's numbered 0. So anyway, I've just barely started it. So far, it is about Bertha and, I can't remember Anne's father's name. Anyway, Anne's mother and father, and at the point where I am, she has just been born. Anne has. So it's really the story of her parents and her very young life, and I'm excited to read this. So then, moving on into the weekend, because it is the end of Spookathon, I am going to finally read my Spookathon books. I have Bedlam Lost and White Death by Jack Castle. Jack is a friend of mine, and I have been needing to get these read for a long time. So these are my Spookathon books, and therefore they are my Deweys Readathon books. Now, when I need an audiobook, I'm going to be listening to this on my phone, and the narrator for this is, let's see, I wrote it down, I thought. It is Renee Rodman. And so this will be my audiobook for the weekend, and then I hope to get both of these read. If not, I think I won't be able to get both of these completely read during Dewey's, but I hope to finish one and get a good start on the other one so that I can finish it by the time Spookathon is over, which is Sunday, the next day. So within the next 2 days, I want to get these done. Then going on into the rest of the week, the next print book I want to pick up is my reread of the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society. I've had a couple of people tell me that they might want to buddy read this with me, and so that may happen. And if someone else out there is interested in, in reading this with me, then that'd be great. I'm going to start it probably around Monday, or as soon as I finish these two books here, then I'm going to get started on it. One of the people that I'm going to be reading this with is Vintage Christelle on YouTube. She's not a booktuber, but she has an Etsy shop, and so on her channel she shows vintage items and things like that she has found, and she shows those and some of her collections and things like that on her channel. So so that's who I'm going to be reading this with. And then Emily Sears, she said I should just reread this with you, and I offered her that, you know, I said, well, why don't you? And I haven't heard back. So Emily, if you're watching this and you want to read this next week, then jump on in, and then both of you girls email me and we'll chat about it over email. That's the easiest way to be able to have group discussions, you know, without having a Goodreads group or something like that. So that is my next read. And then after that, I believe I will pick up Miss Scarlett's School of Patternless Sewing by Kathy Cano Murillo. I have several other print books that are pretty short that I still want to try to squeeze in by the end of the month, but this I believe is going to be the next one that I pick up after Guernsey. Then I have a couple more audiobooks that I want to get to in the coming week, and especially by the end of the month, these books will get done. That's my plan. I have Love Mercy by Erlene Fowler, and I've got it on CD from the library. And then I have The Good Dream by Donna Van Leer. I've got this on CD from the library, and it's also on Hoopla. And Christelle, I think, is also going to read this one with me if she can get a copy from the library. And it almost seems like there was somebody else, and if anybody else wanted to read this along with me sometime next week, then let me know. Then I have one other audiobook, If You Could See Me Now by Cecilia Ahern. She is one of my collected authors I've never read, and so I have the CDs from the library that I will be listening to. I had talked about buddy reading a different Cecilia Ahern book with Laura from Mom to Triplets 04, but we decided to put that off till next year. Meanwhile, because it's one of my goals to read as many of my collected authors as I can this year, this one was pretty short, and so I just went ahead and grabbed it from the library so that I could at least check her off my list. So that is everything that I think I can get read within the next 7 days, and it might take me on into the short week to finish up some of these audiobooks by the end of October. And I will tell you next Friday, though, what I still think I can get read between next Friday and the end of October, which I think there'll be like, well, there'll be like 5 days left. So actually, that's not too bad. So that's all I have for this video. I will probably be back tomorrow with a Saturday shelfie, and then hopefully on Sunday, or however long it takes me to get it done, I will edit together whatever I can get filmed in the way of a Deweys vlog. Also, today I was at Walmart, and I found a section of craft supplies that were on clearance, and I got several things that are for scrapbooking and card making and stuff like that, and it was practically free, a lot of it. So I may do a video about that sometime, maybe Sunday or Monday. So if you're interested in seeing my craft haul, then be sure and check that out. So that's all I have for this video. I hope you're having a great day. Read a good book, and God bless you.